In today's video, I'm gonna give you 5 easy to use steps to hypnotize yourself. And the cool thing is you can actually use this with other people as well. So let's dive in. So the very first thing you want to do when doing self-hypnosis or even hypnotizing other people is you wanna get people to focus on one point. And preferably, we do this at a point that's 45 degrees above eye level. Now we do this for a few reasons. Number one is when you get somebody to focus on one thing, their brainwave cycles begin to slow down. Now, why is that? Well, you see, when we're constantly looking around at all the different things in our environment, our brain is having to process all the colors, textures, sizes of everything you're looking at. So when your brain is having to process more information, your brainwave cycles are going really, really fast. So when we just focus on a point, now our brainwave cycles begin to slow down. So let's actually give it a go here. So I want you to put your attention on my finger and just simply focus on this spot. And as you focus on this spot, I want you to allow your shoulders just to drop down and fully relax. And as you focus on this spot, allow yourself to daydream as you go into trance. All right, now come back out of trance, hit the like button. If you felt yourself start to shift into that daydream-like state, hit the like button down below. Now, focus on a point, and again, if we can do 45 degrees above eye level, 45 degrees above eye level to take it to another level. Here's why. When our eyes look up, it signals to our brain, hey, it's time to start relaxing, it's time to shut down, because this is what happens when we sleep, right? When we go to deep sleep, if you ever open somebody's eyelids while they're sleeping, their eyes are rolled into the back of their head. So simply by doing that, we're signaling to our brain, hey, it's time to relax, it's time to go into trance. Okay, second step is to tap into your, I'm gonna mess this up by the way, peripheral vision, okay? Hopefully I spelled that wrong. If I didn't, somebody let me know in the comments how to spell peripheral. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, when we're looking up at that point, we want to keep our eyes here and our attention out here. Now, why do we do this? Well, you see, if you look really close in the mirror, maybe you can see here, probably not because I have really dark eyes. If you look really close in the mirror, you can actually Google this on your computer. If you look around your pupil, there's this it's like very, very hard to see, but you can see it. It's this muscle that goes around the pupil. It's called the rectus iris, okay? So your rectus iris is a muscle that's in charge of zooming in and zooming out, kind of like the aperture on a camera, right? You can zoom in or you can zoom out and go really expansive. Well, what happens when we tap into our peripheral vision is we actually open that aperture to our eyes, which allows us to go into alpha state and start to slow our brain down. So let me give you an example. If you're on the freeway and you're very, very focused on the car ahead of you and you have what we call foveal vision, it's like that tunnel vision, right? Where you're just focused straight here. You're not paying attention to anything here. What happens to the cars on the other side of the freeway? Well, the cars go by really fast. At least they seem to be, right? When you're in that foveal vision, you're hyper-focused. Now, if you keep your eyes there, but then you start to open up your peripheral vision and you start to notice the cars on the other side of the freeway, what happens? Well, it seems as if the cars are slowing down. Although they're going the same speed, it seems as though they're slowing down. So when we do this and we look up, we focus on a point and we start tapping into our peripheral vision, it actually allows our brainwave cycles to slow down so that we can go into trance, okay? Now, number 3 is as we're in this state, we want to look back and forth. So what does that mean exactly? Well, when you're looking up at that point, okay, you sit here for a minute, you allow yourself to tap into your peripheral vision, stay there for a moment. And once you feel yourself start to go into that trance, okay, then you're gonna begin to look back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And what you will notice is as you do this, your eyelids begin to get really, really heavy. Now, this is a really cool trick to do when you're actually hypnotizing other people, because as their eyes are going back and forth, you tell them, hey, you're gonna notice your eyelids begin to feel heavy, so heavy. Your blink rate begins to slow down and you may begin to close your eyes. And what's happening is, as they're looking back and forth, their eyelids are starting to get heavy. So what's happening internally is they're saying to themselves, oh my God, the hypnosis is working. This is actually real. Oh my God, this is actually working on me, which that alone actually puts them deeper into trance because they can let go of their conscious mind trying to analyze everything. Now, what's actually happening there? Okay. Well, it's not the fact that I'm saying your eyelids are getting so heavy. That kind of helps. What's actually happening though is that we have very rarely, if ever, look up and go back and forth like this. So what's happening is we're using muscles that we don't typically use. And if you're using muscles that you don't typically use, what happens to those muscles? Well, those muscles get really, really tired really, really quick. So by getting somebody to go back and forth, okay, their eyelids will naturally get heavy on their own. And then by giving them the suggestion, hey, your eyelids are getting so heavy, you know, your blink rate is slowing down, etc., their mind's gonna go, oh my God, it's working. And then eventually their eyelids are gonna be so tired and so heavy that they won't even be able to keep them open. By the way, this is a great trick to do when you're going to bed at night. If you're having trouble sleeping, just go back and forth. Your eyelids will be so heavy that you'll just close your eyes and relax and go deep into trance, okay? Next, as you're doing that, okay, obviously at some point you're gonna either close your eyes or have somebody else close your eyes. And then you're gonna imagine going down 10 steps, okay? You can actually even imagine going down like an elevator or anything. Now, what does this do? Well, what it does is it metaphorically tells our mind that we are going down. In other words, we're going deeper into hypnosis and accessing the subconscious mind. Now, why do we call it the subconscious mind? Well, it's because sub meaning below or underneath the surface, right? So if we want to go underneath the surface, do we go up or do we go down? We actually go down. So what's happening is metaphorically, it's symbolizing to the subconscious mind, hey, we're actually going down, we're going deeper to tap into the subconscious and make that connection. And then last but not least is you want to begin to, when you're in this place, begin to visualize the life that you want, begin to give yourself affirmations of whatever that may be for you. And you start making that affirmation and those visualizations on a subconscious level so that they actually stick, okay? Now, obviously, we'll write it here, visualize and affirm, okay? Now, again, if you're doing this with somebody, you're essentially guiding them through this process, right? Now, you could also do this if you need to, it depends on the person, but between 4 and 5 is you do what's called a progressive relaxation. So in other words, you just have them relax their body from the top of their head down to the tips of their toes. And this is really good for people who haven't done a lot of hypnosis or meditation or trance work, because sometimes people have a trouble relaxing. So this will get them to go deep. For people like myself or people who practice this stuff, you don't really need to go that deep with it, and you can actually get there pretty quickly here, all right? And then the last thing is just bring them out of trance, right? I think that goes without saying. I know we get asked a lot, what happens if I get stuck in hypnosis? Okay, that's impossible. You just like eventually, unless you have a heart attack and die or something, but when you're in hypnosis, okay, eventually you're gonna come out of it. Either you're gonna fall asleep or your mind's gonna pop out of it, all right? So guys, do me a favor. I want you to comment what your favorite step is and what you're gonna actually start to visualize for yourself. This will actually help you begin to crystallize whatever it is you want to create in your life by simply just typing it in the comments. And then obviously for me, it helps my videos, right? So comment down below, again, your favorite step, what you're gonna begin to visualize, and then start implementing that moving forward. And I recommend either like the video or save it so you can go back and look at the steps again. Matter of fact, if somebody could write the steps in the comments, that would be great. That way you can just come back and look at the steps. That'd be amazing. And if you'd like to learn more about hypnosis, I actually have a free hypnosis training that's like, you know, on YouTube, I do a lot of different videos, but they don't always mesh together. So I actually put together a step-by-step training on giving you some of the basics of hypnosis so you can start using it for yourself. So if you'd like to get access to that, there's gonna be a link down in the description. Just go down there, enter your information, and you have immediate access to that free hypnosis training. All right, guys, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.